Everybody, welcome to our ultimate episode of Memories. That's right, we're on episode 3 of Memories, talking about Cannon Fodder. Not the
Should
game.
we have made this a mini season?
A mini season. Oh, it is a mini season, isn't it?
I guess it is. Like I've been writing them in our the anchor back end as bonus episodes, but I guess they could be like a mini season 10.
Mini season 10, keeping it small and sweet, short, keeping your moist, keeping you moist.
Sure, that's what they say.
That's what they say. Uh,
Oh boy. So Canon Fodder, as you've already said. This one is produced at the same studio as Magnetic Roads, so Studio 4C. And is directed by Katsuhiro Otomo,
okay, who's he?
who is the creator of Akira.
Oh, so this one's the creator of the Akira.
Yeah. Um.
Wait. As in, like the writer of the
Yep.
the
The
manga.
manga. Yep.
All right.
And of course he was one of the creative forces for the animated film adaptation as well.
Yeah, and you
So
wrote Memories, right?
he wrote this one.
He just wrote this one, Story of Memories.
No, sorry. He wrote Stink Bomb and this one.
All right. Okay.
Magnetic Rose was by Satoshi Kon, who was Perfect Blue, Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers.
Yeah, but the manga of Memories.
Oh, probably, but also the writer of the thing.
Yeah,
Hang on.
because Memories is also a manga.
Yes.
I think.
Yes,
Oh,
based on his 3 manga shorts.
yeah. So the writer of Akira wrote the manga for all the 3 stories, and then they all kind of
Yes. And
had.
he adapted 2 of those into screenplays for Stink Bomb and Cannon Fodder, but Satoshi Kon wrote the screenplay for Magnetic Rose,
Yeah.
which actually, having not talked about that in the Magnetic Rose episode, makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. There you go. See, mini series. We can refer back to the first episode,
Call it back.
call it back. If you have not watched that and you just watch this one or listen to this one, even you can watch that,
You don't
listen to
know.
it.
Yeah,
It'll
can.
be on Anchor.
It's
Or
totally possible.
it's there and on YouTube's. By the time you see this one,
Yeah, I don't really like this one, Colin.
like I say, it's got its nuances. I was saying there's nothing really about it. It's just kind of like a slice of life for this
Yeah,
weird war that's going on between 2 moving cities, at least.
yes. I,
Uh,
I think that the main thing is that they're sort of, the whole point is they continue to fire at each other, but it also seems like they never see each other, really.
yeah, it looks like potentially they're on different like planes of time. Like one person might be halfway across the world where it's daytime, so they're firing at night. Because the way it
Yeah, it's super
goes,
weird.
because the way it goes, is like it starts off with a kid in bed sleeping, and the clocks go off. Also, the
Yes.
artistic style is like not your standard anime esque artistic style, and like it looks all hand drawn and stuff. It's got like that. It doesn't have the
Yeah.
crispness. It's more rough.
So I would describe it as more European.
Mm. It's
Um,
like a like the I don't know who's the guy. It's got the scream style like oil painting type thing.
Edvard Munch.
Yeah. So it kind of looks
I
like that in a weird way. To
to me, there's. I'll send you this. Obviously, this doesn't really work particularly well in a an audio medium, but
Mhm.
uh, there is. How do I send chat messages in this thing?
click
There
on
we
the
go.
chat window.
So I think it is a little bit reminiscent of. I think it's a French cartoon, French animated movie called Belleville Rendezvous.
Oh yeah, it probably is. Hang on. Let's see how I access the chat menu because I popped the window out and then it's like, oh, this chat is now here.
Uh,
It's all getting confusing, man. Don't want to break it too much.
Nah, it's all good. But yeah, basically, it does. It made me think more of European, traditionally European animation styles. It had that sort of
Mm.
rougher, surrealist look to it. A lot of well, actually, I suppose French animated stuff has, and maybe even to like a degree, like some Don Bluth stuff.
Yeah, that's it. But it's 100%. I'll just leave it. I'll look at it later.
You can look at
100%.
it later.
It's rough, uh, a rougher drawing, like it's done in pastels slash oil kind of motion.
It's very grimy,
Yeah, but then
and not in an Akira way where it's
yeah,
quite clean cut grime.
yeah,
This is sort of like rougher looking.
yeah,
Um,
and
it's
th-
interesting.
this would definitely fall into a steampunk category.
Yeah, for real. So, like you said, it's about the kid who
Ah,
wakes up and his parents are very upset with him because he's not doing well enough in his lessons and he's not doing the extra to be better as a guy who fires the gun
yeah,
because
yeah.
firing the gun is important.
Ah, well, he gets he gets woken up. Clocks go, wakes gets up, gets dressed, gets shouted at by his mom, like, ah, get up, you're going to be late. Oh. It's for school. And he's like,
Lazy
oh, all
bum.
right, lazy bum. He could go up early and that. And then he gets out of the room and there's this big portrait of some grand general or something. And he slits
Yep.
and he's like, goes down, has breakfast. And his dad's just kind of sitting there going, whereas the mum just giving all the lip that uh,
Yeah.
that you get from your mom. It's like, oh yeah, you're failing at this. Your grades are terrible. You should put in extra work. You should go to school early and do the extra training and stuff. Um, and that, and then he kind of just blatantly ignores her and goes, you know what? I would like one of those music helmets, mom. And she's like, they got banned. You're not allowed to have them in school at the last parent meeting. You tell them and uh, she just like throws in, and it's all the steampunk type weird creations happening. It's like it's all kind of piston driven stuff.
Yeah,
The
I was
kitchen's
gonna
all
say
got
like
pistons.
it's like a world built of steam powered cuckoo clocks.
Yeah, wow, to a degree, and it's pistons.
Yeah.
It's all because it's kind of like it's everything's kind of built around cannons. Everything that has a cannon on
Yes,
it. All the roofs have like big turrets for firing cannons.
because they're at war
Because
and
they're at
have
war
been apparently forever.
forever and a day. Yeah, they're on moving cities as well. So basically, he gets his food, and then they walk out. And I kind of like this bit in a technical sense. It's like
Hmm.
when I watched Winter. Was it Winter Soldier? Yeah, it was Winter Soldier. I found the best bit of that movie was
Uh-huh.
the bit when Captain America walked up the window in the building, and you saw the lift come up the side with the dudes in it, and
Uh-huh.
then he walked into the lift, and then they pressed the button, and then the lift goes down, and then obviously it cuts into the lift where they basically say something, and he's like, nope, and beat all the Hydra
Yep.
agents up, and then jumps out.
Okay.
But it's the just the kind of panning, the artistic panning of that shot. I always like because it's like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I like that. You can see him looking out the window, waiting for the lift to come, and the lift coming up
Yeah.
and getting in. So this kind of
It's,
a similar effect, only it's like it's it's panning back the way the shot.
yeah.
And so like you're seeing them walking forward into the lift, and then the lift kind of like going down, and the camera falls, and that's pretty cool. You don't see that often, especially in that style of
Of
animation.
animation. To be fair, I think you're this short does not suffer direction problems, like in terms of the way it's shot and the way it's drawn. Like I think they've obviously there's something very gorgeous and stylized about it, and it has a theme and a consistency and the
Mm,
level of world building that it does with just a scene, or like you say, like a
yeah.
camera motion and things like that. It's very impressive.
Mm.
I think it's just yeah, it's just weird. It just kind of falls just a little bit short for me. It feels just very I guess it's the messaging of it seems really ham-fisted.
Uh, yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the message is of it. It's certainly
But
a slice of life in this world.
I feel
Okay.
like it's kind of inheritance of enemy, right? Like, um, oh well, they've always hated these people. We've always been at war, so we're going to continue to be at war, and no one's going to question it. So you're just consistently indoctrinating the next generation
Well,
into this forever war, basically.
you say that. You see that. So there's scenes in it. So basically, the, after the scene, they go down the lift, and then they come to the
Hmm.
train station, and the dad and the kid separate, and the kid goes further down into the streets, and I think they hear he walks. I don't know. I think he's okay. He walks there through the streets and
Hmm.
goes to school and
Yep.
pays little attention to his lessons about trigonometry and how that will help you work out how to be more accurate in your shots and
That's
stuff like that.
the angle to fire your cannon at.
Yeah, well, it talks about sine, cosine, and tangent.
I mean,
I
I'm
not.
no mathologist, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure how sine and cosine would help you with your angles. But I could be wrong.
Oh, they're all workout angles and stuff. If I remember, fuck. I
Do
mean,
they? I
that's like
mean, maybe.
30 years ago, man. That I did that shit. Yeah, sine and cosine are about working out angles. It's always tangent, but they just so happen to make graphs as well.
Yeah. I, 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 I know nothing of trigonometry.
Apparently not.
No.
I thought you watched
Like,
the maths programs about maths.
I watch stand-up maths, and he talks a lot about different things. Not all of them with which my brain engages, because I have the dumb, and it is quite difficult sometimes.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't say you had the time, but yeah.
I do when it comes to maths.
I
A truer statement has probably never been spoken than my ignorance of, hey, Sine and cosine don't have anything to do with angles. I think you're right. I think they do.
Yeah, pretty sure they do. Uh, anyway, so
I would never be very good at firing a cannon.
I never use cosine of that whenever I play like those tanks games. You know, the ones where you're like Scorched Earth or
Yeah, because it's just move it here or here.
yeah,
It's not like
maybe angle and then put a velocity into it. You don't really put
yeah.
any.
I just yeah like I guess like velocity. Yeah, that maybe makes sense because you're talking about like the intensity of the curve.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm getting it.
Yeah, yeah. You getting it now?
Now I'm getting it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
There's more to it than just pointing it and firing it.
yeah, so he kind of goes off in a like a dream, stares out to the
Hmm.
cannon, the big this all the other cannons are like just normal color, and then there's this big red one sticks out of the building, and he goes and focuses on that, and then that is where his dad works, and they go in and it's like, all right, we're going to load shells 1 and 2 now, and they have like this like factory esque procedure of loading the cannons, and then
Yeah.
pulling it in, getting the big shells. Man, those are like the Gustav shells that they're firing.
Oh, yeah. These were big boys.
Yeah.
The process of actually loading the cannon did make me think of like the old Warner Brother Looney Tunes, you know, dun 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 dun. I was expecting that music to play.
They didn't have the rights.
No, well, Powerhouse is like a. Is it Powerhouse? I'm pretty sure it's Powerhouse. It's good shit.
4C, you said this one was.
No, Powerhouse is the name of the music.
Oh, it might be free now.
It is the Raymond Scott Quintet.
Uh,
Powerhouse, 1937.
yeah. Uh, so they're in this factory and they're loading the cannon, and it's all kind of like, yep, get the cannon, put it in, get the thing in, load it up, and his dad's just a menial labor in there.
He's he is oh god. He assists he's a cannon loader, I think
Yeah,
is his job.
yeah, I think he's the cannon loader. So he's like, there's a big because the shells are massive, they're on big machines, and they could pretty much all be automated, you know. But no,
Yeah.
not this. Uh, Blows it up, get that. Then they all kind of get right. Evacuate now. Got to evacuate and run up. And hide behind some things, and they watch the cannon, and then this pompous general guy just walks in, just struts in,
Yep.
strutting his stuff with
Was
his cape.
his massive stomach.
Yeah, massive stomach and cape, and like the gold touring hat thing, and
Yep.
gets up. Uh, so there's a whole bit where he just kind of walks in, and he's like da 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 da, and then he walks onto this platform, and the platform goes. Brrr, it's all very smooth, and he gets lifted up to the gun platform, and then he walks forward, gets to the control panel, throws his cape off,
Yep.
and then presses the button. He just presses this button, and it's like boom, and it's shots fired, and then I think it goes back to the kid. Oh no, it
Who's
goes.
yeah, he's watching it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's watching, so it goes back to kid, and I think then it also then goes to the wife who's in an actual factory producing the
She's making
shells.
yeah, she's making the munitions.
Yeah, and
Like that's quite World War Two
uh,
era because
World
certainly
War One, I
that's what
think.
my gran did in World War Two. She
Yeah,
she made firing pins for grenades. She assembled them.
yeah. Maybe it's World War Two.
I mean, to be honest, it's likely it was in both. That's just the one I know of because it's like it was
Yeah,
told to me as a story.
yeah. No, it's that's about right. It's about round about your area. There's an abandoned animation factory, isn't there? Down down the west coast. I think there's one on the west coast hidden
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, you're probably right. There's a lot of I mean, there's a lot of industry on the West Coast from the days gone, so
Yeah, and because all the men went to war, the women did like the nice small hands and steady hands and stuff for all the glistening and stuff for making animation. Um, yeah, so it's very reminiscent of the Second World War for us here in Britain. Um, and yeah, he fires it, cuts to them, and they're all kind of saluting, going do do do. The shot's been fired. Salute. And then one of the women's just kind of standing there going, "Her," and then the mother goes like, "You better do it," because it's like the
yep,
the the
it's
the
important.
the floor manager or whoever he was,
Yeah.
Portman comes in and goes, "Right, that's it. Go and have your lunch break." Because there's been no lunch break on during the airstrike or whatever it is, the return firing. You're not allowed to have
Yeah.
a lunch break on return fire.
Everyone must bear witness.
Yeah. Um. So they all have their lunch. Even the workers in the cannon factory, uh, and the school all have their lunch at the same time. And at this point, you get a caption of like protesters protesting for one better working conditions in the factory. It says, "Oh, let's not
Yep.
use such toxic gunpowder. That's bad for us. It has stuff
It's
in it."
bad, yeah.
And I think there was the other one potentially. It didn't say it, but like I think it was potentially was like this war is pointless, maybe because it's not in any language. It's not like in Japanese or anything on the posters. It's all
No,
uh, a made up scribe.
all language. You
Yeah,
need just a language.
and it's just little pictures and stuff. So then it cuts back, and they're off to do another fire and volley.
But do we not I think there's like is there not like news coverage saying it's like, "Oh, we did it. We fucking hit him.
Uh, no,
That was good."
that's later.
Was
So
that later?
yeah, this is when they'll go back. This is pretty much at the end. So
Oh,
they'll
okay.
they'll do the landing. They have the cutting, and the father's in part of the loading crew for the next one. And for whatever reason, the crane drops the shell,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
he gets shouted at by his commanding officer that say, "Oh, you can't be doing that. You gotta be careful." Blah. You get
K k
your punishment is to stand. Uh,
Yeah. They make stand next to the cannon while it's being fired?
yeah. And he
Wow.
loses, and they're having they wear gas masks like old World War gas masks.
He's not allowed to.
No, his fault it fell off when the thing came
Does
down.
his fall off?
Yeah,
Uh,
and then because they load the cannon and the general pompous general guy is already there to
oh,
fire
he comes
the
back, yeah.
blast. So that doesn't make any sense to me because he, oh no, he puts the mask on when he fires it.
Yeah, he does,
Yeah,
you're right.
and and you see the father's face just kind of like starts sweating in like
I
it's like oh no shit and
we
so
should talk about the father and the son's deeply horrified and haunted expression.
oh yeah
Like, they're so haunted.
yeah like ghosts.
Oh god. They're
Yeah,
just beady red eyes and sallow faces. It's just nightmarish.
yeah, I don't know. I think it is a whole nightmares, but I think that's maybe just that's all the dark side of the wet web. But what I'm trying to think,
Well, the
it's kind of
style is generally like that, but also I don't think everyone has the same horrifying eyes that they do.
maybe not. No, you're right. I think they're a bit uh, a lot more garmlish, garm, garmly,
Gormless.
garmless. Just like dark eye. There's just like no pupils. It's just a whole black thing.
Maybe
Oh,
all eyes like that. I don't know. Just like everyone has haunted fucking mind. Like they're just so fucking haunted.
well, I mean, they're constantly at war and get bombed and then bombing the other place. I mean,
Yeah.
he basically puts his fingers in his ears and it goes,
Yep.
and then it cuts back to them having tea. He survives, and he's having his tea with
Yep.
his son and his mom. Uh, and his son's at the table doodling on a bit of paper.
Yep.
And does his son ask who we're fighting? And the
I think he
father,
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the father says, I'll tell you when you're older." And
Yeah, and this is the you're right. This is the bit where the TV's on at the dinner table, as it was at the start, but this time it's talking about the yep, we did it. We hit the enemy moving city. Uh, and yet there's no footage of that. But
yeah,
trust us, we totally got him.
yeah, and they have a ranking of how which cannons fired most shells.
That's right. Yeah, they say it's like, oh, they did three, they did four, they did four, they did five. Oh my
Yeah,
god, five shells.
yeah,
Wow.
5 shells. It's not exactly rapid fire. And then and he sends the kid to sleep, and then he looks at the kid's drawing, and it's pretty well done for a kid.
Yep.
It's like just like a circle and a thing, and it's a general, and then it cuts,
Yep.
zooms into the
He's going with
drawing.
his little sword.
Yeah, boop, 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 boop. And he's like just going, walking along. Because it cuts into this as a weird animation for whatever
Yeah, it's like
reason.
an animated children's drawing.
I know. I just think it's. I don't know if it came to life or it's just basically decide. You know what would be good for this point is like this drawing comes to life. Like this random
That's
drawing comes to life
that's fair.
to show maybe the kid's dreams because comes to
Yeah,
life.
because well, he wants to be the guy that fires the cannon, and it shows you some little round-headed dude who's like, "Oh, I'm gonna fire the cannon."
Yeah, and he has this wee conquest. He goes up, uh, he slits to the cannons, uh, and some other people, and then he sees the bad guys. It's like fire, and then like the cannons kind of fire a wee ball and blows up the
Yep.
guys, and it's like yay, to do slitting. Uh, and then it cuts back to the kid going to bed once again, looking at the picture and right next to his bedroom, and goes, "Yeah, when I grow up, I want to be the guy who fires cannon, not like my dad."
Yep. He
Who,
wants to be the exalted officer.
yeah, and then he puts his bedclothes, takes his clothes off, and goes to bed.
Hmm.
End of the thing, and then you get like a bit of flashing light,
Yeah,
and then
it's
air
like there's a
siren,
siren.
and yeah,
Yeah, so it's
air,
like they're under attack all of a sudden at night, and I think that's like what you're saying is like, are they attacking during the day to a place that is at night, and then during the day for them, are they attacking them at
yeah,
night?
yeah. It's like,
Um, it's really weird.
especially when it ends and then it just goes into a trance tune for the credits. It's like it's like the most lively music through the entire thing. There's no all this like Magnetic Rose is like kind of all about opera and
It's
stuff, and it's like
opera, yeah.
yeah, and it's all about. And then Stink Bomb, I didn't really have anything.
It's
It's,
fairly chill. It's
yeah,
just it just kind of is demonstrable of what's happening, and yeah, like the soundtrack for Cannon Fodder is relatively subdued,
yeah,
and then trance music.
yeah. So, again, the stylization of the whole thing about Confor is a stylization. The story concept in it isn't really there. I feel
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, is like I feel it depends on if I'm missing the message or not. Like to me, there's like some really it feels like a quite blatant jibe at indoctrination into war and not really knowing the reasons you're fighting. Uh,
Mm,
but I think like having read through some of the stuff on this, I read on the Wikipedia page in particular.
mhm,
It says, like during the part where they're firing, and there's like, oh well, we said we hit them.
mhm.
There's no confirmation of that. We have no footage of that, but we definitely hit them. But one of the things that it says in the synopsis of the episode or the segment is it doesn't confirm if they see anything visually or if
Mm.
there's an enemy at all.
Yeah, I mean, all you ever get for the enemy is just like, is it like shoulders with skull heads?
Yeah, the thing is, it's all there's. It doesn't seem as if there's anything. There is no scene in Cannon Fodder where I think we get a view of what the other group is. We just have what the visualization in people's minds or their perceptions of the enemy is.
Hmm.
Um, so there's maybe something more interesting there around the idea of like whether there's even an enemy at all is a kind of a fascinating type of like societal control
Yeah,
where we're just keeping the rank and file doing some stuff and
yeah,
keeping them down and like keeping them maintaining order because we're at war and we need to do these things. But the higher ups the whole time maybe knowing it's like, well, there's nothing actually happening, we're not in any danger, we're just kind of trying to enjoy our lives by keeping everyone keeping on.
yeah. It could be some weird, deeper story of that, but for that is as a teaser, like I say, it's more for me. It's more of a kind of like an art piece,
Hmm.
uh, showing off like camera movements and animation and stuff. Some like I say, it's a lot of zooming about with the camera
Yeah.
panning in because I think it's another point. Yeah, 'cause I think it's the lift again where they walk onto the lift and the camera just keeps going by and keeps going forward and
Yeah,
goes by them and shows the city.
I think
Uh,
technically it's very good. As a visual piece it's pretty cool.
mhm.
um there's some nice concepts in there. uh it's very short.
Yeah, well, I think that makes it better. I don't think it can last longer unless there was an actual like method to the story because the story is just
Yeah,
basically this is these
it's
people
a
live
series
in
of
this
events.
live in this city that does this and
Yeah,
and it's
so
not
I feel similarly. Like if there was a like when we talked about magnetic rose, I'm like, I think there's stuff that you could have extrapolated on that would have maybe been quite interesting. I
yeah.
think maybe I think maybe what I'm either not I'm maybe not getting the message of the story, or and if I'm not, that's fine, that's on me.
Mhm.
Um and which is why I think I would like longer because I'd like more explanation, more information, more narrative around this kind of war and the enemy and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think like the thing with the boy and the dad,
Hmm.
all they really are is like cameras. They're just viewpoints. They're not characters. They don't really like other than the idea is like, oh, I want to be the guy that fires the cannon. There's not
Hmm.
much
No.
there. There's not much substance. And it feels like all it is like, oh well, we have a family, they're the sort of centerpiece of this, and you're going to have the viewpoint of the dad who works down here, you can have the viewpoint of the mum who works in here, and you're going to have the view of the kid who's in school. And it's
Hmm.
like all they are is viewports into different parts of a narrative that's quite thin.
Yeah, yeah. There's not much in this. I mean, I don't know. I think you're trying to make too much out of it by putting this narrative about indoctrination and stuff into it. I think
Oh
it's a bit.
totally, like
Well,
that's what I mean. I'm either thinking too much into it or I'm completely missing the point of it, or
I think
well,
it's.
I guess it's either or really.
I don't know. I don't. I can't say I didn't like it. It's
It's my least favorite of the three.
yeah. yeah, it's there's certainly no. It's an art piece rather than like rather than a narrative like piece. It is showing like
I think.
maybe this is it's kind of showing like war. The characters all kind of stylized with like I want to say World War I style like helmets and stuff because it's like the pan with the wide brim. I
Hmm.
feel and some of the higher ups have like the kind of like soldiers with the side cups and stuff and that on them. Some all kind of like fancy attire. Um, but yeah, I maybe it's just basically saying war is just a nasty, dirty business because
I
essentially it's
mean,
all
maybe.
grime in the art style depicts like it's obviously uh steam, it's all steam juice and everything's grimy. The people faces are like that because they live in such a kind of polluted town and uh potentially overworked and seem
Hmm.
to be treated kind of poorly. Uh, but there is also the other people that's obviously in the city don't fall suit into what they're saying.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. What do you rate it? Where does it lie for you?
Uh, like I say, I can't say it's bad. It's
No.
not like oh shit, why did I watch that? That's that's just not right. It's not like when we watched say um ghost stories. That's always a good one to fall
That.
back down.
Yeah, that is because that
Hot
is just bad.
that is just horrendous. Um, and there was Golden Boy. I think that's what we got to in our bad crusade. We got through like Golden Boy,
Yeah,
and but Golden Boy was funny and had stuff. So
Golden Boy was funny.
yeah, as a an artistic piece, I think it was more interesting than the others
Hmm.
in the way it's the animation.
Hmm.
Um, but as a narrative piece, it certainly didn't have anything. Uh,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I've rated them all seven to be honest, but they're different degrees of sevens in the sense that
Fair enough. Uh, I
because
don't know. I think this is a 5.
yeah, I just can't. I
I'm right.
enjoyed
I'm
it.
right down in the middle on it. I'm right
Yeah,
down in the middle on it. Where like I think it's interesting, but it's not interesting. It
yeah,
seems like a weird thing to say, but it like I it was the one I had the least interest in watching.
yeah. It was good. I liked it. Like I say, I liked it in the artistic way. There's nothing there for
Hmm.
story wise. It was fairly interesting. It's short, so therefore, if it was longer for me and didn't improve like in a narrative sense, then it would probably be lower because
Hmm.
it's didn't need to be that long in that sense. Uh, I know
It's
I
fine.
kept I
It's
kept
fine.
everything at seven, but then
What's your well? They're all at 7, but what
yeah.
order are they in? What one did you enjoy the most to what one you enjoyed the least?
So I like Stinkball the most because
Hmm.
I kind of like the stupid fucking
Yeah.
stupidness of that. And then probably Magnetic Rose would be the next one, as it had a story and it was kind of interesting what was happening there. And then this Cannon Fire would be the lowest, mainly because
Didn't have as much of a balance.
it was all just like I say, it was an artistic license It's like, oh, we can do
Mhm.
this and we can do this, and I assume it was shorter because they've used all those techniques, which
Yeah.
takes time to draw and stuff.
I
Overall, man. Uh, oh, what are you going to say there?
I was gonna say my interest declined as we watched it. Like Magnetic Rose is my favorite, and then it's Stink Bomb, and then it's this. So
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. But overall, I don't know. Memories is it's decent. It's got a good mix.
yeah, I would say as a collection, it's definitely interesting, and has merit. And if you're interested, Colin, and have a spare £120 sterling, there is a very good condition soft cover of the original Memories collection in a bookstore in Inverness that we could go and pick up.
Bookstore in Inverness
Yep,
at 120.
120 quid.
Is that cheap?
Original, original, 1994.
I sure not.
And it looks cheap because if I look at the other seller things, it's like 500.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know
Yeah, like
someone that owns it.
eBay has it for £450.
Yeah. No, I knew someone that had it. I wonder who still has it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I read the manga already because he bought it. He bought it here in Dundee somewhere,
I mean, I
or
guess the
maybe in
thing is though
Glasgow.
is that Memories is not just those three stories. The manga, it's a bigger collection though, right?
Uh, or maybe he's just got the first volume then.
No, no, no. I just mean there's more stories than just in that one book. Maybe I'm wrong.
Uh, sure, it's just three, but then that was 20 years ago. I read that. He got it in
Uh,
Glasgow, and then
oh
I
wow.
borrowed off him and read it, and he gave it back. Yeah, because he was
You
up.
get a hardcover
Uh-huh.
today from Amazon.
Yeah,
240,
240.
or the paperback is over 1,000.
Um, yeah, no, no, it's good. Um,
No, no, no. I'm fine.
I don't need to spend that much money.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
What? If I'm doing that, I'm just eating pot noodles for the rest of the year.
The rest of your natural life.
Yeah, especially because it's so much money back in boil water now.
Uh, I can't find a story listing for the Memories collection
Yeah,
because
I.
if you look up the Wikipedia page,
Mhm.
it says that it's just based on three of his manga short stories.
Yeah, so, but I think maybe they bind this into it because that's what he kind of started doing before he did Akira. I think.
Yeah. The problem is that uh, if you look for Memories, uh, it doesn't. It just takes you to the movie page.
Well, maybe it's not memories
Does
then. But no, you said there was the big what's called memories online.
it's called Memories Collection.
Yeah, I think you got it for 20 quid 20 years ago.
Holy shit.
Fucking gold mine there, and it's 120 in Inverness bookstore.
Uh,
So far away though. Cost you more than 120 to get up there. It'll be like a good
yeah. I
half tank of
I
fuel.
certainly I spend too much money on manga now.
If you're looking at the prices like that, then yeah.
Oh, I no, I have no. The most I've ever spent is on the Monster Perfect
on,
Editions.
on the monster.
Yeah.
It's not
I
it's not
did.
talking about
I
the
did.
energy drink either.
No, I did also just recently buy the first couple of editions of Fire Punch,
All right.
which is the one from the guy who did Chainsaw Man, about a guy who's always on fire. Apparently,
All right. He has a
I
thing
just
for
I,
like, what happens if this guy was always on fire? Let's write a story about that. What
well,
happens if this man is able to like have chainsaws for all his body parts?
it was Super Eye Patch Wolf who was like, and what's this? What's story about? It's like it's about a man who's on fire all the time. It's like, and that's okay because it doesn't hurt him. It's like, no, he's in constant agony. You're like, oh, okay, wow.
That sounds
That
like
immediately at that
Ryan
point, I was
George.
like, sweet, yeah, yeah, it does sound like Ryan George. But I was immediately like, oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. I could read that. So I've got those to read this weekend.
Nice. There you
I've
go.
I've also started collating my manga into my iCollect app, my custom collection, so that I can know what it is I actually have.
Ah, yeah, I collect.
Mm-hmm. Started getting that shit all together. Need to get my wish list on Amazon up to date with the other books that I'm missing.
Yeah. I
Anyway,
need volume 6 of Battle Angel Alita.
volume 6. Have you? Do you have the Akira hardbacks?
No, I've got a. I went to some random Comic Con, one of the churches that was up from my flat
Hmm.
with Oz, and there was this guy selling the first volume of Akira there.
Oh wow.
I was talking to the guy, and he says, "Yeah, yeah, I'm selling this because I went and bought like the new editions of the hardbacks of it, so I don't need this anymore.
Oh
I've got
wow.
all the other
Well,
ones."
you can get the whole collection from a seller on Amazon for 125 quid.
No, that's better. That's the whole. That's a collection of books.
Two, three, four, five, six books, and
They're chunky. Well,
oh yeah, like the sixth book is a beefy book.
oh god, it's a beefier than the other ones because like
It's the beefiest.
the paperback one's like that thick.
Well, it looks as if one is pretty big, two and three are smaller than one, four is about the same size as one, five might be slightly bigger than four and one, six is bigger than all of the other ones.
Combined.
Well, no, that would be impressive. I think it's like I'd say it's probably a one plus a two.
A one plus a two.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, we did it, Colin. We
Mhm.
managed to make a 20-minute episode of something last 50 minutes of discussion.
Uh,
Impressive.
to be honest, I think this one's probably the most interesting one to discuss because
I guess that's true.
it's it wasn't such like clear cut. Like
No.
you didn't you watch it and you go like, why did I watch that? What's that all
Hmm.
about? It's
Hmm.
it's there's nothing really there.
Yeah.
Um, which is maybe why, like I say, I gave it a 7 because they were all good in their own merits of what they wanted to do, and I'm
Hmm.
doing shaky hands on the screen here. Uh,
Well, because you've done shaky hands, that means we're at the end of the episode.
all right, okay, jazz hands.
That's that's the signal. End of the episode.
Finished.
Yeah. You've listened to another episode of Who's the Anime, an anime podcast that can be found where all good podcasts can be found. We don't make any money from this. We just like to talk about anime and manga and stuff and other things. But obviously, if you like what we do, it would be super cool if you were to give us a review or tell a friend about the show. That'd be super cool. We have a Facebook page. That's facebook.com/who's that anime, where we post the latest episode releases and occasional anime memes. We have a Discord channel. You can find that in the show notes. There's a link there. We also put these episodes on YouTube, where Colin painstakingly puts them all together. That's at youtube.com if you search for at Who's That Anime. Colin and I also occasionally like to play video games. Colin at twitch.tv/couchfuel and myself at twitch.tv/hailpayman. You can find archives of all of the games and things we've played from those channels on YouTube as well. If you go to youtube.com and search for at couchfuel or at hailpayman.
Yeah, that's it.
And
All
we'll
the
be back.
things.
We'll be
Yeah.
back next week with season 10.
Oh, season 10?
Yep.
1-0?
1-0, the Big
1,
Ten.
Big 10. Made it,
Double digits.
made it to double digits, people. What the hell's going on?
Yep.
You should
This is episode. What episode number is this? 116?
116. Yeah. Triple
Holy
digits
shit.
there.
Damn.
Yeah,
Time flies. Time flies.
it does.
Well, we will return with our first episode in season 10, which is on Angelic Lair.
Mhm.
And we'll see you then.
Yeah. See you then, Space Cowboy
Yep.
people.
Same anime place, same anime time.
Yep, that was smooth.
Bye.
Let's go. Bye.
Smooth. Hit the eject button.
Okay,
Go.
bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.